What's going on, Jerome's? So Minnesota Vikings head coach Kevin O'Connell and current free agent, going to be free agent quarterback Kirk Cousins, they've done some good things in their first 2 years together. Frankly, I think Kirk Cousins played the best ball of his career. Vikings went 13-4, wanting some more, win the division 2022. Probably would have contended for the division and at least had double-digit wins if Kirk had stayed healthy in 2023, but popped his Achilles. It is what it is. And with Kirk being about to be 36 in August and coming off that Achilles, the question is he going to hit open free agency? And will he sign somewhere else, whether it be Atlanta, maybe Denver, maybe Washington, who really knows? Or will the Vikings and Kirk go run it back one more time and really go for the pin? Who knows? But head coach Kevin O'Connell was on with Daniel Jeremiah and Rich Eisen, NFL Network, during the NFL Combine, and he was pretty candid, and I feel like the messaging has been pretty consistent this offseason with O'Connell and Kwesi. But getting into what O'Connell said, here's what he said, quote, I know where Kirk goes at in this whole process. He's earned the right to be a free agent, and he's played really good football, earned the right. It's interesting. I know he's going to go through a full process. He's a process guy, and hopefully we continue to be a strong part in that process and we figure out a way to keep him a Minnesota Viking. But my expectation is we're not going to be the only ones that would like Kirk Cousins to be the quarterback of our team in 2024. Now, I feel like the messaging has been consistent throughout, where it's, hey, whether it's O'Connell, whether it's Kwesi, or whether it's whatever, hey, Kirk, we would like you back. We think that you're an important part of this team, but we are not going to overpay. It's implied that we're not going to give you multiple guaranteed years because we're worried about holding the bag if you do have a fall off due to age. I mean, look at Russell Wilson. And if you can get more in free agency, that's fine. We will turn the page and start things over. I think that's exactly where the Vikings are at. I think that's where they were at last offseason when reportedly Kirk wanted a multi-year deal and the Vikings wanted another one-year Band-Aid. I think that nothing has changed at all. And also, if you remember the messaging from last year, whether it's Kirk or Kevin O'Connell or ownership, it was all like, we believe in Kirk Cousins. We're going to play out this last season and we'll see what happens. That's exactly what it was, and now I think that the Vikings have played this thing smart, where if they were fully desperate on making it happen with them, they have the cap space, they could do that. And if they want to give Kirk a 3-year, $125 million fully guaranteed deal, they could do that. All right, but they're not going to, because I feel like they've been smart in terms of hedging their bets with what they have with Kirk Cousins. They know they have a depreciating asset, but the asset could help them win the most games and make some noise this next season. And it's just like, oh, well, what about last year? Again, the Vikings probably win the division and make some noise in the playoffs if Kirk stays healthy, but it is what it is there. And also, what's interesting too, so the Vikings social media account had been relatively quiet during the combine, but immediately, just like snap call, like immediately once Kevin O'Connell said that, they put out, I know Kirk is going through a full process, he's a process guy, and we continue to blah, 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 blah. Again, the fact that they're just like, oh, Kirk, he's a process guy, so we know that he's going to hit open free agency. So it's a little bit of cover your ass. I mean, because there's, despite what comment sections may look like, I mean, there's a decent part of the Vikings fan base that wants Kirk Cousins back, right? So this is a little bit of CYA, cover your ass, where it's like, hey, yeah, we want Kirk Cousins back, but we know that he's a full process guy, and part of that process is open free agency and listening to what the Falcons and the Broncos and the commies want to say. So again, it's really interesting seeing this thing play out, but I do like that O'Connell and company, they're just like, hey, Kirk, we want you back, but only this number of years and this amount of guaranteed, and we'll go from there. Otherwise, hey, we'll be fine. I mean, we'll bring in a bridge quarterback or roll with Mullins who can throw for 400 yards, or we'll maneuver and get our quarterback of the future in one of the deepest QB classes in NFL history. Kirk, again, we love you. It's been real. It's been fun. But if you want to go somewhere else for a couple more pieces of silver, it is what it is. No, there you go. So I have a lot of respect for Kevin O'Connell. I think that he's handled this thing well. I think that the Vikings are in a strong position. I think that they do have leverage over Kirk, and the ultimate leverage in any negotiation is walking away from the table. And The Kirk and his agent McCartney are not going to squeeze the Vikings like they squeezed the Spielman regime. Like they're not going to finesse a fully guaranteed deal. I don't see that happening. But if Kirk, yeah, if doors close, like Atlanta goes in a different direction, Denver's going to go in the draft, Pittsburgh goes in a different direction, Washington's whatever. I could see him back on a very cheap deal, but on the Vikings' terms. So I think that's what's really good here. Your thoughts are thoughts. Kevin O'Connell talks Kirko's future at the Combine. Let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skol, production value.